The advice that we have received from our lawyers who attended the final counts is that a magisterial recount is unlikely to change the outcome in any of the seats. While we don't have sufficient evidence to mount a legal challenge against the outcome of the election, I'm not seeking to in any way suggest that we are not accepting that the government that has been elected will be duly constituted. I don't want to go down that road. I don't think that's a wise road for Jamaica.
Well, hello, JPU family. Welcome to another episode. This is day 8 after the general election that just took place in Jamaica, where the Jamaica Labour Party was re-elected a third term. The PNP lost the election. So the PNP had their press conference this morning. This press conference was about, quote, concerns that they had about the outcome of the general election. As you heard in the beginning of this video, the PNP will not seek to have a recount because the outcome will not change according to their legal advisors. Also, the PNP admitted they have no evidence of any wrongdoing in the elections. Another thing is they are not trying to say that this government won't be duly re-elected. So those are the 3 most important takeaways from this press conference. But guys, guess what? Based on comments that I have seen from certain spaces, the comrades them did a plot to make sure that Andrew Owens is not sworn in on Tuesday. The comrades are very disappointed. They're not happy with the way that the PNP is doing a complete 360, right? Remember, a couple of days ago, we were hearing about how, Donna Scott Motley, senator, she came out and talked about irregularities. And they were going down a road of delegitimizing the election results, and as if they want to rile up the Jamaican people and undermine our electoral process. If you follow this channel, you will hear I came out about 2 or 3 times to say to Jamaica and to the PNP, you lost the election, you conceded, and you don't need to be walking back your concession speech and to pander to people who are disappointed or going through election grief. So here we have it. They have come back to say they accept, they have no evidence, and they are not seeking a recount. Now, I am going to share some information with you guys that came from a PNP circle in WhatsApp, and that conversation tells me that the PNP supporters are very disappointed. This is not what they want to hear from the PNP. So here's the message. It goes, I'd like to follow up on this post and share some thoughts on why we need to fight to the very end. I've seen in other spaces where violence is a fear if the PNP presses on and reclaims some seats. I really hope the leadership isn't moved by the prospects of violence. 28 seats isn't enough. We had 31 in 2016. And looked where we ended up in 2020, at the bottom with 14 seats. Don't be complacent, because there's no guarantee we will have another chance to retake the government. We need to show voters that their votes are extremely important. Workers feel cheated and discouraged. I can't imagine the average voter. Even in this group, Sharon shared it might be her last time voting based on the challenge of just getting to the polling. Laborites need this depressed voting population to continue winning. Fear of violence is also the reasoning of Bruce Golding re-Dodo saga. Free and fair elections are most important than any deportation. We shouldn't avoid confrontation at the expense of the most important democratic tenet, which is an election. This fight shouldn't be the only thing PNP does in the next few months, but it's actually the best and most important action the party can take going forward. Someone who was in this PNP group shared this message with me. So that tells me, guys, that the PNP supporters and the bloggers and vloggers, this is the road that they want to go down. I don't know if there are members of the hierarchy who's seeking to go down that road, but this language is one of don't give in, don't respect the democratic process, keep fighting. But the PNP who sit this morning come out, they are singing a different tune and they look very sad singing it. The supporters must be very, very disappointed. And this picture right here depicts just that. So big up to our graphics man over here for this. I strongly believe that the pushback from this platform and maybe others against the PNP for trying to go down a road of undermining our electoral process is probably what caused them to do a 360 and disappoint their supporters. Because we cannot sit down and stand by, guys, and watch the PNP try to do a January 6th on Jamaica because they lost the election. That's exactly where they were heading, you know? Of course, while they're conceding again and assuring Jamaica that they accept everything and they don't plan to recount and they don't have any evidence, they're also saying that, we hear say money induce some things in some constituencies and and people weren't able to vote and Listen, the PNP need not go down the road of money because Mark Golding promised the PNP workers $10 million to put him there. So the PNP better not go there. And they too, they bought votes in this election, millions of dollars worth of votes. And they know it's true. So they had no moral authority to go down that road. The election is over. We don't want to hear nothing more from PNP. They need to go and do their reassessment and figure out what they're going to do. Mark Golding said that all the MPs elect signed the document for him to return as opposition leader. I guess in due time we will see how that will play out. Mark Golding is on his second election defeat, the local election and the general, and he's not behaving as if he wants to step down. But he was one who did not sign for Dr. Peter Phillips, who had only lost one general election, to remain as opposition leader in the early stages after the general election. So if you have been following the news cycle, you would have heard yesterday where the ECJ came out and asked CAFE to withdraw a statement saying that 21% of voters were turned away despite being in line and on time. Well, this morning, the Jamaica Gleaner published an article titled CAFE Denies, claiming that 21% of voters were turned away despite being in line and on time. However, they went ahead and clarified. In setting the record straight, CAFE said that their statement was, quote, crystal clear, pointing out that it was only reporting on 2/3 of its volunteers in the field who had submitted a report. Grace Boston, the chairperson at CAFE, said that translates to about 300 people. Of that number, 21% responded positively to the question of, quote, were there people in the line at 5 p.m. who were not allowed to vote? So the panic that was created after CAFE's statement yesterday, which was created by the PNP bloggers, you can see that it wasn't anything like what they said, So guys, that is the news today with the PNP's press conference. Just to say to Jamaica and their supporters that, they're accepting things the way they are. They are kind of a mixed message, really, because while they're saying they have no evidence that they accept, defeat or accept the victory of the JLP, and while they're saying that they're not going to contest, they're still giving mixed messages that, they're going to be looking at things. Yes, they said they're going to be going into constituencies to gather more information and all that sort of thing. But you know what? Right now, the focus needs to be on the inauguration or the swearing in of the new government and moving forward with accountability to make sure that they do what they promised that they would do. Anyway, guys, this is Jamaica Politics Uncovered. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Please give this video a thumbs up, guys. Let me hear what you think in the comments about PNP's presser this morning. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Have you identified reasons why the party lost? And secondly, what are your concerns about the low voter turnout? And I would like to hear if the party has plans to encourage voters to hold their votes.